am so excited to finally be reviewing the Skybambi Companion bag in Bambi Brown color. I got it as a birthday gift to myself last December 2022, but I wanted to take it out and about and actually put it to use before I review it so it can be a more thorough conversation about my experience with it. But before we get into it, I do have a few things that I want to talk about. First of all of the music that you will hear in this video, I am very excited to say that is by my very good saxophonist friend, Troy McGrath. This is his new album, Mehonge, and it is just 8 songs of just pure, blissful Puerto Rican jazz. So give it a listen. It's on Spotify. He's on Instagram if you want to follow him. I will, of course, put handles and links around here and in the description. Number 2, by the time this video goes out, my Etsy shop is back open. There's inks, there's sketchbooks, there's inkwells, there's prints. So go ahead and check it out. Also linked in the description. And then number 3, thank you so much to my Patreons, because now I get to spend an afternoon walking around Chicago shooting footage for a cool video, and I feel like it's actual contracted work, which is cool. So if you want to check out my Patreon, that will also be linked. I have 2 tiers going on at the moment, one with a monthly newsletter, and then the second one with the newsletter and a monthly art circle via Zoom. You can go check it out. It's really fun. But without further ado, let's go into the review. So here is the Skybambi Companion bag in all its glory. This pouch right here, by the way, is one of the additional add-ons that is not included in the price of the bag, but I thought I'm really gonna use this because it comes with a strap, and that's just the way I figured I would be most likely to carry it, and that has actually proven true. So it does come with these buckles right here, which you remove as so, and I have realized I actually never use these. So I take it out, and once you remove those buckles, this canvas pouch works really well in actually holding the bag. This is actually how I use it, how I carry it, and how I have already traveled with it. I have not missed the actual straps, and that actually leads me to my one negative review about this bag, which is I wish you could pick and choose more of what you get with the included price, but we'll talk a little more about that because the majority of what I have to say is actually really positive. I love this bag so far. So yeah, I removed that, and now we have the actual bag. We have this pocket on the outside. That's not actually another thing that I haven't used, but I love the way it looks. So I do really like the fact that this pocket is here, and at some point I might use it, who knows? Put in your passport when traveling. So when I traveled with it, I actually had to put it in my checked bag because I had to carry around my computer with me, so I couldn't have more than one personal item. And then another reason for it is because I'm using it for bookbinding, which involves a lot of sharp things and, you know, not the best on an airplane. So this is what it looks like. And these are all the accessories that actually come with it. And before I get into how I use everything, I'm going to show you the first change I made, which is removing this accordion pocket purse. It's really cool. It's really well made. I have nothing against it. I'll talk about these later. Take that out of there. Nothing against it, I just don't really think, well, so far I haven't used it at all because I am using this companion bag mostly for bookbinding, not for ephemera and journaling. And this so far I have not found a purpose for it yet. I am of course holding on to it. It is beautifully made, great quality. I just need to find a use for it that actually works with my purposes. So I tucked this in here, and I actually, for now, have it saved for later, for at some point when I want to use it. The great thing about this bag is that it comes with these little straps so that you can cover the buttons when you take off accessories. The other accessory that is removable, but I do love it, is this little pouch. So you can open it. It's quite long, pretty thin and small, which is great because it doesn't take up much space. But it is a great size for my bookbinding threads, which I will show you later. So I do keep that attached here. And this one I don't use. So I am saving this with the accordion bag for future use if I change my mind. So that's it in terms of what I dislike about the bag. It is, I wish that I could actually make all the choices in terms of what comes with it and what doesn't. I paid additional for the shoulder strap. I wish I could have just switched the shoulder strap and maybe skip on this, or maybe get a different pouch that works better for my purposes. I don't know. But everything else about this, I love. The size is perfect for the general size of book that I bookbind, and that is why I saw that as the main purpose for this bag. So let me turn it around this way so I can show you. Oh, before we move on, actually, from this side, it does have this pocket here. So we turn it around, and actually I think I can zoom you in a little bit more. And this is where all of the cool pockets and accessories are. These pen loops are magnetic and they do come off pretty easily, which is really cool. So you could use it without that. It does come with two, and you can tell these are pretty handmade because they're actually not identical, which turns out was super useful for me because I can put a thicker pen in one and then a thinner pen in the other, and then they're both snug. So I quite like that minor imperfection. You know, value lies in imperfection. We've talked about this before. So aside from that, it has this leather strap here and then this leather pocket here. So what you put through there, you can tuck it in here as well. And this is the same situation here. It has this loop here with a pocket in the bottom so that everything is very secure. Additionally, we have these like slot card-like pockets, which I really like because, and I'll show you why, they are all separate from each other, which is something I don't like when you see this and it's actually a strap, not a pocket. This one, if I put my finger through the top, you see there's a separation there. There's a layer there that prevents what's over here in this pocket touching the next pocket, and so on and so forth. It's the same here and it's the same here. So these are all actual individual pockets, flat, put together. Love it. Love this feature of it. Then for the main pocket in this area, it's this big pocket right here, which is this size, basically the size of the majority of the bag. And then we have the loops on the top. These two are sewed in and you can put things through there. Actually, with that line there, you can see I've already been using that one quite a bit. And then we have these, which actually snap shut and come in and out. I honestly just use these as a second version of that, but I like that I have the option of unsnapping them if I want to use it differently later. And then we have this additional pen loop right there on the top. So to show you how I have been packing it, let's start with this top part since we're already here. As I mentioned, I'm using this primarily for bookbinding, and then I do put my journal in here and add a couple things for that, but the majority is for bookbinding. I did first get this bag in December actually, so I got it as a really nice birthday gift for myself, and so I have had some time to play with it, change things around, and figure out what works for me. Obviously, that does not mean that that's never going to change. That is the beauty of this bag and my favorite thing about it, how customizable it is in terms of how you can move things around. Each pocket can have a purpose now, but it can have a different purpose later. And I love that. So I'm putting a couple fountain pens here. These are the parts that are mostly for journaling, not necessarily for bookbinding. And then of course I can't leave behind a calligraphy pen because I would be naked without that. And then I do like putting this eraser here along with my folding bone and fountain pens. This is a mechanical pencil up there, which is quite thin, so it fits well in these loops. Of course, this is leather, so the loops are going to stretch out over time as you use it, which I'm looking forward to see how this grows with me. I'm putting my favorite scissors there. This is what I use for paper only. These are, by the way, from LDH. They're meant for, it's like a sewing shears scissors brand, but I really love that little scissors of theirs. And then I have some binding tape that I would like to put in this pocket, and then my favorite see-through ruler right over here. And this part, so far, this is what I have put. I know it is not super full, it's not super packed, but it's really what I need right now and the way I am using it. Now let's turn this around, zoom you out, so we can pack the other side. Now the first thing I do here is this zipper pencil case right here, which I use mainly for thread. So I'm putting those in there, and this is what I mean. The size of this is so perfect for spools of thread. I love it. And then in that same pouch, I'm also putting my awl. This one was custom made for me, by the way, by Scribble Workshop. I think that's his name. Anyway, I'll put it in the screen. He's an amazing creator, craftsman, who makes tools based on medieval designs. Next up, of course, more rulers, because such is the life of a bookbinder. So I'm putting these here, tucked in that pocket, laying flat so that it's not bothering anything. I'm actually putting that sharp corner on the inside, just to make sure it doesn't poke anything. I know that corner's still there, but you know, there's only so much we can do. And then next up is the paper of the next couple books that I'm working on. You'll see that this bunch on the top is already folded, and then this chunk on this other side is not even folded yet. So these are the next things that I'm gonna be working on. To protect the paper, I'm actually using this little tote bag that came with this order. Oh, there's fuzz. So that way, the paper is a little bit more protected than it would be otherwise. I fold this over, and then it's just the right amount of space so I can put it vertically here, or from this perspective horizontally. And then I have this whole space over here to use also. So on that space is where I'm putting my journal, but first actually my little calligraphy glove. I know that's not what it is, but that's what I use it for, so that's what it is in this household. And actually, aside from that, I'm also throwing in, so I have my thread snips, which I love using, also same brand as this one. I love using this as I am sewing the binding and cutting the thread when I need to. So I'm gonna put that over here. And then I have two very important tins. First, I have my calligraphy nibs, which these are the ones I'm using at the moment or carrying around. There's a variety of nibs there, so I can play around with whatever I feel like doing. And then I have this other tin with needles for bookbinding. And then lastly, or almost lastly, I have a couple of inks here in sample vials, so it's easy to travel with. And of course, in a Ziploc bag, in case something happens and they explode, I don't ruin everything. Let me tell you, I have traveled with these Goulet pens sample vials full of ink so many times. Like honestly, over 10 times, or probably more actually, it's been years now. Every single tour I go to, I'm a stage manager by the way, theater. I travel a lot, that's it, background. Every single tour I go to, I travel with something like this, whether this one is a new one that I've been wanting to try out, but it is excellent. I have never, knock on wood, I have never had an ink spill with the Goulet sample vials. They are amazing. And then this one is from, what's this one called? Dominant Industry, which also has served me well so far, but can't speak as much for those in terms of travel. So that can just chill there. And then finally, my journal fits there. Now I might need to, actually, maybe these can go like that. Can't remember how I packed these, even though it was like a week ago. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. And that is it. That is my fully packed Skybambi Companion bag in the Bambi brown color. So now I can just close it. I suggest closing the top side. Oops, I bumped the camera because everything here is attached to itself. If I move this part, everything's gonna fall off, right? So just closing that part. Zipper. And final accessory is putting in the shoulder strap, which I love, by the way. So good. So this one, need to tuck it in a bit. Oops, sorry. Tuck it in a bit here. I love that you can adjust the length of the strap here. If you wanted to add more, punch more holes into the strap, you could do that because it's just very plain leather. So it's very open for customization. We have some other opportunity to change the length over here with other additional punched holes. There you go, snaps together, and that is it. That is my filled out, ready to travel Skybambi Companion bag. Thank you so much for joining me. Every time I use this bag, I like it more, and I'm excited to see what other adventures it gets to come along with, which you will find out, probably on Instagram. But until then, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!